They say there are few things left undiscovered in this world. But in the majestic landscapes of Baja, Mexico, a treasure is waiting for those who share the spirit of adventure. Here, on the majestic Baja Peninsula, adventurers must test their abilities against the rugged desert and harsh climate. Surviving the Baja Desert requires careful planning, dedication, and teamwork, especially for those few who dare to test themselves on the Baja 1000, one of the world's most treacherous off-road race courses.
Hi, I'm Guy Cihi. When I was a boy, I saw a movie about the Baja 1000 off-road race, and I used to daydream that someday I'd race in the Baja. Well, this is no daydream, and we're all here for the adventure of a lifetime.
A perfect adventure needs three things. Number one, it's got to be exciting. If there isn't a risk, you might as well stay home. Number two, it should involve teamwork. Working together to overcome obstacles gives you a great feeling, and it's a great way to make friends. Number three, a perfect adventure has to have a clear and definite goal, so that when it's over, you know you've really accomplished something. Here it is, Baja, Mexico, a 1,700-mile dagger-shaped strip of sand and rock surrounded by ocean on three sides. The Baja Peninsula is located just south of San Diego, California. During the Baja Four-Wheel Drive Challenge, we will follow the original Baja 1,000-mile race course, which runs from Ensenada all the way down to the finish line at La Paz.
Everybody, welcome to the AL Baja Challenge. Thank you very much for coming. We have people from all over the United States, and of course, our members from Japan. We're very happy to have you challenge the desert together with us. Let's have a great time together. And don't hit the bikes. Remember, don't hit the bikes. Only one rule, okay? And I'd like to introduce our chief guide. He's the leader on the trail, Dick Miller. He's a racer of Baja, many, many years experience. So Dick, why don't you come out and explain to people what they can expect on the trail and give us the benefit of your years of experience.
Good.
Running a successful adventure trip requires tremendous planning and preparation. I was fortunate to find three top professionals to take on this responsibility. With Dick Miller, we got more than a chief trail guide. Dick has raced in the Baja many times and won it twice. He's a charming storyteller who can keep everyone fascinated with tales of man's struggle for survival in the desert. Keeping the vehicles running smoothly is a tough job when you're 1,000 miles from the nearest service station. Chris Haines was the right man for the job. Only through years of hands-on experience can someone predict what kind of spare parts will be needed. Most of the adventurers joining me on the trip are Japanese friends I know from the ALE membership club in Japan. To help them understand more about how to drive four-wheel drives and dirt bikes off-road, I called on my friend Shinji Kazama to come along as a driving coach. There aren't many Japanese with more off-road experience than Shinji.
Shinji-san's going to be in one of the Jeeps all day. So please change around so that you all get a chance to be in his Jeep so he can show you some tricks, like jumping and rolling over. Right?
Yeah. Jump しないよ.
Okay, today no jumping. That's tomorrow's lesson. And,
でも前転するかもわかんないけどね.
so at the break time, change the drivers, all right? And please talk to the drivers. Some of the drivers are Americans. They speak English, so you all get to practice your English. And the drivers, you can practice your Japanese. How's that sound?
It's a tough job for these brave beginners. All of them will be taking turns driving one of the 7 four-wheel drives. So their first job is to learn how to drive one properly.
基本的にはこの前のこの4エッジってやつね。これで。 これで走る。
いつでも
大体。で、
この
これは
ままでも
俺が一番先に行くから、で止まってやばいなって時は、多分4L にこっちにこうやって 4L でしょ。これで走ってるから、そしたら俺がこう手かなんか出すからエッチにやって。でブーって出てやったーって感じで止まってね。よかったねってやるから。でその時にすぐ抜けないから多分ね。そしたらさ、バックに入れてコンってちょっと3メートルもコンと入れて走ってあげると、走ってあげてクラッチを踏むとスパンと入る。
普通のだから
でもあとはもう口笛吹いてね。基本的にこうもうすごく緊張しないでルンルルンルルンルルンこういう感じで走るんだよ。緊張しちゃダメ。もう緊張して焦っちゃダメ。とにかく自分の技量でテクニックでのんびりと走るっていうのがすごい重要。ね。でダメな時はもう誰かに代わってもらってさ、やれば。そしたらもう今回。
While Shinji gives them expert instruction in Japanese, I have Dick clue me in on proper four-wheel drive technique in English.
I'm pretty experienced on a dirt bike, but I haven't driven a four-wheel drive much before. Can you review the basics for me, Dick?
We have standard 5-speed gear shift, and the other small gear shift is for going in and out of four-wheel drive. Four-wheel high, four-wheel low. And most of the time we'll be running in four-wheel high. You can shift it into gear stopped with the engine running.
Okay, let me see if I've got it now. You stop the vehicle, you put it into neutral, you push in the clutch, and then you push this lever forward for the four-wheel high.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Right.
Okay.
And the wheels will lock. In the old days, some of the old four-wheel drives, you had to get out of the vehicle and lock the wheels manually. With this vehicle and most new four-wheel drives, you don't have to do that anymore. So, like I say, we'll be using most of the time four-wheel drive in the high end, and our top speed should be about 50 miles an hour. We don't want to run on the pavement more than that or any road. And it'll take us over most of the surfaces that we're going to need to go.
Can I just leave it in four-wheel drive the whole time?
You can, but it's not necessary. Let's say if we're going to get some long high-speed sections, then it's not a good idea.
I see.
It's not needed.
Can you give me some examples of when I would need to use four-wheel drive?
In sandy conditions, like we're going to be in a lot of sand washes, or muddy, rocky conditions. And most of the time, four-wheel drive high will take care of that, except if it's like we're in bad silt, or we're on a steep hill with sharp rocks and long drop-offs. Then it becomes like a mountain goat when you put it into four-wheel drive low, because at the top speed we shouldn't do more than 25 mile an hour, but it'll get us up and over anything.
I'd say the Baja four-wheel drive challenge has what it takes to be a really great adventure. It's got excitement, it's got teamwork, and it's got a goal. So let's do it!
The first day is cold and wet. Mud and snow have mixed to create a very dangerous terrain. Starting out, the group is tense as they encounter the challenges of off-road driving.
ところを走ったんですけども、本当に目が離せなくって前に何が出てくるかわからないから、すっごい緊張して、なんか、って感じ、息するのも忘れそうなくらい緊張する。
In Baja, you must always be alert. The desert trails are harsh and full of surprises. Not even an hour into the trip, we encounter our first.
The Jeep is on the roof. No four-wheel drive, zero-wheel drive.
He kind of started fishtailing around, and then saw the brakes go on, and it just went, hit the shoulder, and then hit the shoulder and just kind of real slowly rolled over.
Rolled over into there.
Right. It was actually on its roof. And the doors were jammed on one side, unfortunately open on the other. So we got everyone out the other side, and no one was really hurt. It rolled over very slowly. It was slowly sliding, and then it just kind of rolled over. Almost looked like it was in slow motion.
Fortunately, no one has been injured. and it becomes just another part of the adventure. But the vehicle has 3 flat tires that need to be repaired before we can continue. Our expert guides have prepared in advance for this kind of problem, so we have all the spare parts and tires we need to repair the vehicle. There is no substitute for experience in Baja, and knowing what to bring with you is very, very important.
Well, Dick, you have been to Baja many times, and I know you've seen it all down there. Tell me, what equipment have you prepared for us to bring on the trip?
Well, hopefully everything that we'll need. My philosophy in Baja is that be prepared for anything, because anything will happen. And usually if you've got all the stuff, then maybe it won't. So that said, we have tools, we have gasoline, we've got water, we've got a crate full of fluids and extra spare parts that we think we'll need for all the vehicles. We've got a first aid kit, and we've got camping gear. Then especially, we've got a hydraulic jack and a special lug wrench. We brought along a lot of extra tires, and that'll be one of our main problems.
Tires are going to be a problem? What do you mean? Out of 16. We have 6 left.
Even the best professional drivers must take special care in order to survive the torturous Baja 1000. Just finishing this race is a major accomplishment. The earliest speed runs down the Baja Peninsula were made by thrill seekers in the late 1950s. The first race was in 1962 by a bunch of amateurs. Soon after that, the idea of racing against the clock to see who could be the fastest man to reach La Paz caught on and excited professional race promoters. The race soon became known as the roughest run under the sun. Vehicles were put into classes by engine size. The first Baja races were point-to-point, with as few rules as possible. For example, there was no designated route. The finish line was at La Paz, and you could get there any way you wanted, just so long as you got there ahead of everyone else. The rules have changed over the years, and today the races run on a designated course that's clearly marked. The drivers are not allowed to deviate from the official race course. The Baja 1000 remains the #1 goal for thousands of adventurers who are attracted by the same challenge that interested the earliest racers. Baja is still one of the ultimate adventures for the brave of heart. And our adventurers are in for the thrill of a lifetime. It's a tight schedule, and we have a lot of ground to cover. But during our lunch breaks, we're able to meet some of the local people and to learn a little about their unique lifestyle.
People are real friendly. The lifestyle is, I can only imagine what it must be like. And it just probably could be pretty contagious if you live there for a while. It looks like people are just interested in just basic things. Today we saw Sunday service going on in the church, tiny little church. Very charming small towns.
You meet so many friendly people. I mean, you can sit, if you're stranded somewhere, I mean, you can go eat with the families, they'll feed you and everything else.